just waiting to make sure that Facebook is connected. I don't see the connection yet. Yes, we're live. Hello, my name is David Martinez, and welcome to Zoom In. Zoom into the 2020 presidential elections in America. This is a weekly live transmission, and I'm glad to see you here, or I hope you see me here. And I'd be happy to answer any questions about the American elections that you have as we continue week by week until November 3rd, the date of the American elections, the presidential elections. And even going as far as the 30th of November, the entire month of November after the elections, just to see how Donald Trump reacts, whether he wins or loses. Because as you know, the elections happen in November, but the actual transfer of power takes place in late January 2021. So it's still to be seen if Trump will accept the results. That's still to be seen if people can vote, because there are still a lot of unknown intangibles about this election that over the course of the next 20-25 weeks we're going to take a closer and closer look at as things get tenser and tenser in the two camps. The Republican camp, of course, is Donald Trump together with his vice president Mike Pence, who are the incumbents, have been in power now for 3.5 years and have radically changed the definition of the American presidency. The Democratic nominee is officially Joe Biden. He won the Democratic primaries, although the primaries were suspended, or let's say they became difficult to follow through on with the COVID virus. In any case, he does have the consensus of the Democratic Party, and he is their official nominee. So we still don't know who his vice president will be. He has said that he will pick a woman. And there's a lot of talk recently about picking a black woman from the different political strata in the United States. The names, I think there are at least 15 or 20 names currently being mentioned. Some of them were candidates in and of their own right for the presidency in this primary cycle. And others are more local politicians, or perhaps were more politically active during the Obama administration. Joe Biden, of course, was Barack Obama's vice president for the 8 years they were in office, and he basically is being presented as a solid, responsible choice for the presidency. Recently, there's been, well, every week there's a lot of news, and this is part of the Trump phenomena. Trump just loves to be in the news, and he's found, just an uncountable number of ways of being in the news, whether it's by actually doing something or not doing anything, or just tweeting early in the morning, or trying to not be in the news. This week, let's see, just to recap a series of pretty important events. There was an important Supreme Court decision this week. The Supreme Court is basically at the end of the session for this period of the year, and they ruled the other day that it is unconstitutional to unconstitutional to discriminate against LGBTQ people at work. LGBTQT, that is lesbian, gay, bi, queer, trans, okay? It's illegal and unconstitutional to discriminate against people because of their sexual identity. This was somewhat of a surprise for the Supreme Court because the last two nominees to the Supreme Court and the most recent justices to the Supreme Court have both been Trump nominees. And in fact, one of those nominees wrote the decision clarifying the unconstitutionality of discrimination based on sexual orientation. So this was certainly a surprise for Trump, although he had other things to think about, so he really didn't comment very much on this. It was certainly a disappointment for Mike Pence and the Christian minority, which seems to form the core of Trump's supporters, who generally have a very heterosexual opinion of what constitutes a family. So this was something of a disappointment. I mean, probably it was a serious disappointment for that base, that political base. The Supreme Court still has quite a long list of other cases that it will be that it's been asked to decide. Two involving Donald Trump as a private citizen. One was, or president and private citizen. Both are related to his taxes because after something like 50 years of presidential candidates turning over their tax returns as they campaigned for office, Trump refused to show voters his tax returns. And now the Supreme Court has been asked to decide if the Congress can ask for those documents. And also, there has already been a case where the federal courts approved publicly releasing Trump's documents held by Deutsche Bank, which some people think may have something to do with his relationship with Vladimir Putin and loans made to his family company, the Trump Towers and the casinos and luxury resorts. So these are potential decisions that the Supreme Court will be asked to come to this week. It can't guarantee that they will make decisions, but it could be a difficult week for Donald Trump, or it could be a very successful week. Another Trump item, because Trump is a master of staying in the news, was the first political rally in the post-COVID period. It was a Trump rally. However, uh, the the premise was that Trump was going to hold this first indoor rally in the city of Tulsa, which is in the center of the United States, indoors during the highest incidence of COVID infections in the state and city. His campaign manager claimed that there were millions of people begging for tickets to go to this rally. The rally was held in a stadium, an indoor stadium with 19,000 seats. So millions, literally, Trump said there were 1 million people asking for tickets. And somehow only 6,000 or 7,000 actually arrived. Now, there were all sorts of excuses that the protesters outside of the arena inhibited the people that wanted to attend. There was such demand for these tickets that the campaign built platforms outside of the arena as well, just to allow Trump and Pence to greet and speak briefly with the thousands, hundreds of thousands potentially, of people that could not actually get into the arena. However, they did not speak out there because there was no one out there to speak to. The police estimated 6,000 to 7,000 people. The pictures indicate that only the lower tiers of the arena were to some extent full. The upper tiers, and therefore the majority of the seats, were empty. But the interesting thing is that users of one of the social media platforms claimed that they had gamed Trump. I mean, they, been playing with Trump by ordering these millions of tickets or hundreds of thousands of tickets online, as Trump likes to do, on TikTok, the social media platform. They had bought hundreds of these tickets. Each person had bought hundreds, and it actually became a game to see who would be able to buy the most tickets to the Trump rally without having any intention of going. Well, anyway, we don't know who the winner is yet, but certainly the impression was that the campaign badly mismanaged this event, because instead of promising a little something small and coming out with something big, they did the opposite, and it was quite a collapse. So, speaking of social media, Facebook and Twitter are also somewhat in the news, because Twitter, for the last 2 weeks, has decided to contest any false information that Trump tries to tweet. And this, of course, annoyed Trump considerably, because his version of reality is very personal, and he thinks that Twitter should allow him to say whatever he chooses, regardless of whether there's any factual basis for what he's saying. Facebook, on the other hand, has decided not to, and continues to support Trump's free speech, whether it borders on racism or steps over the line, or it has no factual basis whatsoever. Facebook has basically accepted that it's more important for people to listen to what Trump says and then make up their own mind. So, what do you think? I don't. I'd be happy to receive your questions. There's also a little survey. We'd just like to know who you think will win the election this coming November. If you can't write to us as we're streaming live, you can always write to formazione@globalfocus.it. Getting back to the news, another big event was the John Bolton book. John Bolton was Trump's, I think, third U.S. national security advisor. He was there actually for more than a year and a half approximately, as Donald Trump's primary advisor regarding national security. And he was certainly involved in the attempts to manipulate the Ukrainian president by withholding defense money for that they needed to defend themselves from the Russian invasion in Crimea and the southern part of the Ukraine, and which became the basis for the Trump impeachment. However, he refused to speak to Congress about what he knew about that event, and chose instead to publish a book, which seems to have already sold out, even though Donald Trump did try to stop the publication, claiming that there were national security interests that would be exposed if the book was published. But basically, the takeaway from the book seems to be that John Bolton was shocked by how incompetent the president was and is, to the point where he has publicly declared that he will not vote for Trump, although he's not going to vote for Biden either, because he's a very right-wing has a hawk, is what we call them, someone with a sort of an aggressive military approach to foreign policy. And he would find Biden too accommodating, perhaps. In any case, the plan currently is, I think that the two campaigns, Biden and Trump, have agreed to meet over the course of the next few months for 3 debates, although Biden has said that has asked Trump not to back out. That is, not to renege on this relatively limited opportunity to debate face to face in front of the television viewers. And on the other hand, the Trump campaign has claimed that they would like to debate continuously and not do anything but debate. So we'll just have to see. Anyway, as you can see, this is a monologue. Here I have been talking about these upcoming elections, and as I say, the intensity will continue to grow as the election date becomes closer. But we have an opportunity starting at 9:30 every Monday, to open this discussion and allow an interaction, not just with me, but whoever would like to speak about this election, what it means to us, because American elections do have a significant impact on our lives, and perhaps improve your English as you learn to express yourselves more clearly and more precisely regarding a debate that isn't maybe life and death on a day-to-day basis, but still dramatically affects our world as well as the domestic American political world. So, if you're interested, please take a look, and there's a link regarding where you can find us, where it's always globalfocus.it is the website, and the event is Zoom in. This interactive element will not be on Facebook, but on Zoom every Monday after this recap, my personal monologue, where, as I say, you can participate with us and express your opinion, and we can hope to learn something about what the rest of the world thinks about these American elections, and I can try to answer any questions you have, whether live or if you send me the questions ahead of time. I can try to research them and help you understand how these elections will impact our lives here in Italy. So, look forward to seeing you again next Monday. Look forward even more to seeing you starting June 6th, when these Zoom discussions will begin. In the meantime, you're free to listen and write, express your ideas, and ask your questions. And until the 6th of July, you'll just have to listen to me, and then from the 6th of July through the end of November, we'll be able to talk about this here online. So, look forward to seeing you, and stay safe.